Hello and welcome to Chapter 6, Section 1. And today, this is where we're going to put together stuff we've been learning in Chapters 4 and 5. And this is where we put together the concepts of demand and supply. And together, those two forces create prices. The actual prices that we pay is determined by the interaction of the two laws of supply and demand. So we got to understand when we're looking at prices, and we've seen this, it's like a traffic signal, where cars on one way they're stopped and the other way they're going. And so a high price does, an opposite thing for consumers as it does for producers. So the high price that makes companies make more of a product, but it also makes consumers buy less of a product. Low prices make companies make less of the product, but it makes consumers produce more of the product. So together, when those two things are working together, supply and demand, we tend to have less shocks to the system when prices work adequately. Okay, so it's like a shock absorber, and again, it forces people to change their behavior. That's an important thing. If we didn't have prices and prices couldn't move and be flexible, then we have problems. So whenever there's inflexibility in prices, no matter what it is, it creates problems. You just got to understand that price inflexibility equals problems. Okay, the more flexible you allow it, the better things are. Now, what determines the products that keep going, the things that keep produced, are prices. And so that's one of those things where if a customer doesn't want it and so they demand less, and the company can't produce it at that low of a cost, then we don't have that product anymore. So all the bad stuff eventually just fades away, and the stuff that is good stays, and the stuff that's better stays. And so it makes it makes for better stuff at a lower price over time. Okay, so good products will get high prices, and again, those high prices encourage people to make more. It also encourages more competitors to come into the market and make the same product, hopefully at a lower price and higher quality. And that's what we customers want. We get more of the good things we want when prices work properly. So, and we've mentioned this before, this idea of competition. Above is a picture taken at a store. Every year they do this amazing sale where they drop the prices dramatically on these wedding dresses, and you can see these women, they're just going crazy, grabbing dresses. And wedding dresses are not cheap, they're very expensive. Fellas, we get off real easy when it comes time to get married. And so this is one of those things where whenever this happens, we have a dramatically lower price. And this is the same kind of situation we see on Black Friday, that day right after Thanksgiving, when stores have these really, really low prices. And they do that on purpose to encourage people to come in and buy. And so the doors open up, everybody rushes in, people start grabbing. Well, the hope is that the product that you bought at that's abnormally low price, what they hope is that you purchase more of the other stuff that you would need. So the term for that product is that's lower than normal is called a loss leader. And so stores will lower their price on one product, hoping that you would buy more of another product. And so this whole competitive environment, as you can see, these ladies, they are competing with each other for those dresses. At the end of the day, there won't be many left, and so obviously you want to find and get the lowest price one as quickly as possible. So if you're going to go to something like this, you would bring along blockers, and this is one of those things where when competition happens, whether it be between consumers, such as the picture above, or between companies, or between buyer and seller, the government is the referee in the whole situation. So the government needs to be adequately strong enough to be able to control or to monitor the behavior of all the players. So the idea is to make it as fair as possible so that competition can flourish. When competition flourishes, we get more stuff we want at lower prices, and that's what we want, you know. And again, what we do see is there are some markets for some products. Some markets are more fair than others, and some products, just because of the way in which those products are made, we have less competition. And when there's less competition, things are less fair. Okay, so what we want for our system is, as much as possible, is free and open competition. That allows the best companies to rise to the top. That allows consumers who really want the product to go ahead and pay more for that product, and it encourages growth in the overall system, and that creates more wealth. If competition is if we create a system that lessens the competitive nature of this whole thing, then things don't work. Prices won't work the way they're supposed to. And that is it for chapter 6, section 1.